All right. Good evening, everybody. Tonight on Unraveling the Darkness, we are speaking with Angel and Ruth from Durham Paranormal NC. They are both engineers by trade and paranormal investigators by passion. They design their own gear and enjoy sharing their adventures with others in the field. So it should be a good conversation tonight. So stay tuned. Good evening, Aaron.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I just caught the end of the intro there. Just another good laugh.
Yep.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going good, man. How about you?
Good. Been a good week?
Yeah. Going
Yeah.
good. Going quick.
I'll tell you. Yeah. Actually, it hasn't. Yesterday was really slow. Like work was slow, and I just drug on. Like I only got a couple hours sleep the night before, and it was horrible.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
Today was much better.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, day cruised by. It was one of those days I like look up from my computer and I'm like, oh crap, it's like halfway done with the day. I'll take that.
No, I wish.
Yeah.
And we had the investigation this past Saturday.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Cool place.
Pretty active place.
Filmed it. That'll be coming out next season on Paraflix.
Yep.
And we're excited for that. I need to get with you about our season finale episode and see what we need to do to button that up and get season 1 done.
Yeah, we'll be ready to button that up here pretty quick. And then
Yep. We got 3
going
waiting.
on.
So we already have 3 filmed for next season, people. It's
yeah, pretty cool
coming right
places
along.
too.
We'll have a 4th. And then if we split one into 2 parts, which we totally can, then we're 6 episodes next season.
Yep. I think 6 episodes will be good.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. There's some really cool places we've been already, and a really cool place I am excited to get to in August.
So, yes, that is going to be a fun road trip for sure.
Yeah. Vacation in July. We're going to started out as a vacation for Gina and I, and then we threw it out to the group and we're like, hey, you guys want to go? And it was, yeah, they'll go. So July, Wednesday night podcast for July, I think it's 2nd, maybe like an on the road live with our phones, because we'll be coming back from DC to Gettysburg area.
Yep. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. So it could just be us like talking as we drive down the road. I'm excited to get everyone out there. I've been to Gettysburg before. We haven't, as a group, experienced the amount of energy and stuff that goes on like it does there in the middle of the battlefield.
Yeah, and we've got some pretty cool experiments planned for when we're out there too. I'm looking forward to doing that, and then we'll cut that into a video and put that out as a YouTube something.
Yeah, do some YouTube shorts or something like that.
Yep.
So Angel and Ruth are sitting in the green room. Let's bring them in, start chatting.
All right. Hey, Angel. Hey, Ruth. How we doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
So, we always like to ask people how the weather is where they are, because, that's one that everyone kind of knows about and gets in common. So what's the weather out out there right now?
It's warm. It's not hot yet. So it's like the 2 weeks of the year that it's not sweltering and freezing. Yep. So good southern spring.
It was pretty nice here today. We had some rainstorms. Gina had to go to Fort Collins, get her car worked on, and it hailed really bad a couple of times while she was waiting for that. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. hailed so much that the Kia dealership, the drains, they have a flat roof, and the drains on the roof got clogged, and it was dripping down the vent right next to where she was sitting.
Oh man, yeah, that hail gets nasty.
Yeah,
That's one thing I don't look forward to every summer here is the hail.
right. So, Angel, let's start with Angel and ask you what got you into the paranormal and wanting to investigate stuff.
Well, I think I got it from my father. He was a sensitive, empath, and I inherit a little bit of it. So I always can see shadows or apparitions around the house since I'm a kid. So
All
at
right.
some point, decide, okay, let's do this. Most every opportunity we can go because just work, right?
Sure. Ruth, what got you started in the paranormal?
Kind of the same. Always there been some, tales of family members that were considered witches. My great grandmother was a medium. She used to like hold seances and all of that stuff. And then one day we went to maybe it was Savannah or something like that, and we're like, oh, there's like, what are we gonna do tonight? Let's do a ghost walk. And we did a couple of ghost walks, and that led us to do our first ghost hunt, public ghost hunt. And like they say, the rest is history. We got hooked.
Got you hooked.
All right. Now, I hear some accents.
We're from Puerto Rico.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, we moved to Texas 17 years ago.
Yes.
And then about a year later, we relocated to North Carolina, and we've been here since.
Nice.
Nice. I miss North Carolina. I was out there for a little under 7 years in the military, so out Fayetteville area.
Fayetteville?
Yeah. Yep. But I always loved North Carolina. It's such a beautiful state.
Yeah, we enjoy it. It's home now for 16 years, but
Yeah.
still Puerto Rico's home.
Yeah, for sure.
What? Go ahead, Jason.
No, I'm cutting out a little bit. You go ahead. I'll work this.
Engineers by trade. So then you got into the paranormal and realized the equipment is crazy expensive.
Definitely.
And then we can do it.
decided you were going to do it. Went and looked at your website, and you have some great stuff. Is that the reason you did that, because it was so expensive and knew you could build it yourself?
Yeah, one of the reasons. I mean, we did electronic classes. I did electrical engineering. So being on the engineering field for such a long time, I've been on 30-something years right now. And I know what they can do. I said, well, why am I going to pay $400 for a music box when I can build it for way less? And I offer to my friends the same product. Says, I can build it for me. If you want one, just let me know. And that's little by little, I got contacted by social media, different people, different countries, and I do at a less cheaper way.
So
Same
it's
quality.
not quite for profit. Let's put it that way.
Right.
It's not our day job. It's not our it's not our business. It's a side business. Like Angel says, like we majored in electronic engineering, programming. We had some programming and mostly metrology, which is basically what are you doing, right? You're measuring something and you're conditioning that signal so you can get the output that you want. And Angel bought the first was it the music? No, the radio, the spirit box. Yeah. And you kind of like start thinking about it, and you're like, well, and he started building it and taking it in our investigations and other groups and other friends. It's like, oh, you did that, and like, you think you can build me one? Sure. And how much is it? And kind of like that's how it started until people start asking for a website, and so had to dabble at making a website. It's never done before, but yeah, so that's how we ended up here.
Yeah, the Spirit Box was the first thing I ever built too. I found some plans online for one of the old Radio Shack radios, and it was, just desoldering a resistor, and boom, it would scan through all the channels without, stopping. So,
which is harder to find now, those type of radios.
Is. Yep.
Yeah, no more Radio Shacks.
So after messing with the Spirit Box, what was one of the first pieces of equipment you kind of built from scratch?
I would say the music box. That was my first one. I got a rent from somebody else that is no longer in business. And when I started going through, I said, man, my heart hurts. How can I pay so much money for this? This is just like maybe a $20 piece of equipment, maybe. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to build a music box just for fun. And then I keep moving and improving, I would say.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm guilty of tearing apart all my paranormal gear when I get it too, and then seeing the $100 REM has a junior theremin circuit in it that you can get for what, I mean, on Amazon $20, but to buy in bulk there, it's. I'm like, man, plastic case didn't cost that much,
Yeah.
He'll message me. He's like, hey, I got this. Hey, this is what it is. I'm like, you already tore it apart? He's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you that I appreciate people like you that make some affordable stuff for people,
Yeah, I mean, it's there's always time and parts and all of that, but like it's so everybody can enjoy it, right? Like you don't need to break the bank to capture evidence, and he builds it all by himself. I just provide lots of feedback. I'm the project manager.
There you go. Yeah, you're the beta tester, the project manager,
yeah.
The focus group.
The first funny thing was when you were building the music box, like scouring through like craft shops to find like a box that will fit everything. And then that led into 3D printing, and that get to the first, and then to the second 3D printer, and then to the third 3D printer, and then the fourth. So
he meant 3. Yeah, just 3.
Yeah, 3. I don't know. I just like don't know what is going on in here, other than when he leaves equipment like in a board and it's working on it and starts going off in the middle of the night. I'm like, just go and turn off all of the
turn
crap
it off
out there.
So where are some of the places you've used your equipment? We like to know where people are investigating.
Anywhere we can, but we have hit a couple of big places. We've been to Ohio State twice. We've been to Trans-Allegheny twice. Yes, twice.
Yeah. Waverly Hills.
Oh, nice.
We went, but like locally, there's a couple of places around. There's the Tri-Vet Clinic. We're there a couple of times. And sometimes there's like little local places that say, let's go. Do you remember the power plant, the decommissioned power plant in Kingston? But yeah, we try to do like we hit 1 or 2 of the bucket list items a year, and kind of like basically what Angel sells just goes back into paying for investigations and travel and the trip and all of that. So
nice. Yeah. Sometimes those smaller, less known places are better than some of those big ones.
Yeah.
The big ones are either so big that you can't cover much, or they've been investigated so much. I always wonder, like, if it gets over investigated and like the spirits are tired and they're like,
sometimes you get that feeling too.
Just need a night where we can rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for the
Sometimes you get that
500th
feeling.
time in a week. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I know I'm dead, right?
Yes.
The same questions over and over.
Yeah. That has happened too. Like, places that, like, our first, what really got us hooked on a ghost hunt was the Trans-Allegheny. And that place, it's still one of my favorite. But there's an aspect to the go an investigation, and there's sometimes you capture stuff with your equipment, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's more what you feel when you're there, what you kind of like. That some of the experiences not all of the experiences can be captured. Like, of course you don't have the camera pointing in the right direction when you see something, because like.
Yep.
Or you got video and you don't got sound.
Oh, the battleship.
Yeah, we went to the USS North Carolina.
Oh.
And I got an amazing EVPs and sounds, and my camera just nothing.
Didn't capture anything. It was like we were at the deck, and we turned one of the spirit boxes, and literally you could hear a battle going on through the radio. Like you could hear and repeating like the shooting and the fire, and the camera did not capture anything. And we're like, great. Like it was us and our son, who like is war buff. Like he would tell me that's like whatever airplane, where he was telling me what the sound was of the guns firing, and
wow,
camera didn't get anything out of it.
Any of it.
Yeah, I've had that before. I've got keys to a local building here that is pretty haunted. And I've done experiments where I've left, cameras and audio recorders running overnight when no one's there, and I'll go and pick them up the next day, and you hear footsteps, in the audio recordings. You'll hear, stuff being moved across the wood floor, stuff being dropped, like you hear it drop and then bounce, and then absolutely nothing on video at all. It's the strangest thing. And I've done both, motion, right, like using trail cams, and then just a video camera that ran all night, and I've never been able to catch video of it, just audio. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I would say that was the most reliable piece of equipment is a digital recorder, because that's, if you're gonna capture something, at least you can get it on audio.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had Nelson Museum. This guy has a private collection. It's a big museum. His vault, he can open another museum. And we did like an audio recorder and a camera, and then an audio recorder. And we have the timing where the audio recorder was shut off, and then the camera, and then the time it would take to walk to the other one and shut off. Like they just went around and shut everything off in that vault. It was so crazy.
That was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah. That's the only thing you can say is like, that was odd. Like,
right. I mean, what else can you say? It's
I mean, it went around the room corrupting memory cards. It was the weirdest dang thing. Like I had to use some software on GitHub that was, made to forensically recover SD cards. And, that's the way we got some of the video back. But even then, some of it was just, scrubbed. It was,
Wow. It was, I think it was a Trivet clinic. Like I was recording in the camera, and I remember telling Angel that, the battery is gone. Like it's red, it's gone. It was fully charged. Battery's gone. Got back on the car to leave. Check the camera again. Battery was back full.
Perfectly fine. Yep.
Like, what the hell? Like, I just look at you. Like I turn you off because you were on the red, and then just perfectly fine. So like that's one of the interesting things with, that kind of phenomena, and how like it disrupt and affect electronics.
Yeah. So since you make equipment, what is your favorite piece of equipment?
What is your favorite piece of equipment?
My favorite that I built, the old style music box.
The music box.
Yeah, And other than that, I got a yes or no device that I spent probably like 6 months trying to get it right. So that's one of the coolest too.
That's I love yes no devices. We have had amazing success with those on investigations. It seems that it's just so easy for the spirits to get the hang of, and within a few minutes, there's sometimes where you set it up and it'll start going red green and going kind of wonky, like it's getting the hang of it, and then after that, you start getting responses, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I kind of like the latest one that you build, that you're testing, the one that measures pressure and temperature and
Oh, my little I call it the sonar because it's kind of like have lights like a sonar. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So it's like a data logger. It records
it's a data
environmental
logger.
variables. Cool.
Yeah, this is one of my yes no devices.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, data
Are
logger.
Are you using PIR sensors on the side of those? The yes no.
Yes, but the new version will use something else.
Cool.
This is the little sonar she's talking about.
I kind of like it. It's cute.
Yeah, the light is
cool
pretty cool. So
And
something changed, it will light up in different colors depending on what was triggered. Yeah.
Okay. And what all does it record?
That's version 2.0.
Yeah.
And that's still in testing.
And this is my latest music box. It just really nice.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he makes one and then goes back and redesigns it and
tweaks
makes version 2.0, and then just constantly tinkering and changing stuff and updating.
Yep, I'm a tinkerer too, so I totally understand that.
It's good. Gets him distracted for hours. Give him here.
Everyone has to have some way to be distracted.
Yeah. Thank God. Other than going, you said you've been to Gettysburg. That's kind of like been on our bucket list for so long.
I went to Gettysburg in July of 2020 to help a friend with an event, and spent 3 nights on the battlefields from about 11:30 at night till 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. The energy, just even during the day, just walking out there, the energy's so much. And then like nighttime, go out there, turn on a voice recorder, and within 30 seconds, musket shot. Just driving around in the middle of the night, we'd pull around the corner and stop, and you hear people on the other side of the little hill that you were just at talking. Came around a corner and heard a bugle. It is an amazing place. It is an amazing place.
I've heard stories even from people that are not like, in the paranormal investigation, that they said, they had been, and it's incredible. It's definitely on the bucket list.
Which is not that far from us. It's like 5 hours more or less. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. It's like 5 hours away from where we live.
Oh, yeah.
He made me sit in the car 8 hours to make it to Ohio, and haven't made it to Gettysburg.
Well, it's 4.5 hour flight for us. So, yeah, it's a really cool place. And even during the day, the energy that the town puts off, all the people were super friendly. I'm excited to get everyone out there. My wife went when she was younger and not doing this kind of stuff, but we've rented an Airbnb, and the whole team's going. And so it's me and Gina, my wife, and Jason and Michelle. And then Michelle's boyfriend's going with it, and just Jason's wife. So yeah, everyone's going to go. It's going to be a good time.
Nice.
Yep. Got a cool Airbnb to stay at, and should be good.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember? We also have like some cool stuff when we went to San Agustin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It starts running together after a while. Like,
Yep.
where else have we been? So you start talking and you're like, oh yeah, we went to St. Augustine. It was super interesting because, you know, since we both speak Spanish, we did had a lot of responses. You know, we started talking in Spanish near the fort, and like, you know, we did had a lot of interesting communications in, you know, Spanish with like soldiers, and which is what always cracks me up. Sometimes you're watching a TV show and they're in Germany or France and they're asking questions in English, and I'm like, yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all
Especially
mentioned
when you're trying to communicate someone from, like, I don't know, 1600s, 1700s. Like chances are you can't really claim that you're talking to someone who lived there in Scotland in 1600 or
Yep.
or
Yeah.
France.
if I did that, I'd want a translator to help to do
Yeah.
that, to translate that to that language, so
Right.
that you got that back, you know, and you're able to hear it that way.
Well, and
You
we
said
tried
you
that
went
during
to-
the Nelson Museum episode. We had the translator app that we were
Right.
using there.
Yep.
What language was it? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
That was Lakota.
Lakota, that's right.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh,
So yeah, in the Nelson, in a local museum, he has a room that when you walk in, there's Native American headdresses and bustles and necklaces, and then the other side is all modern military uniforms. I grew up on a reservation, so I went in and we started using the app and getting some responses that way too. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. You guys mentioned you were North Carolina through Texas. Where were you at in Texas?
McKinney,
it's
about
like
20 miles, 30 miles from Dallas.
yeah,
Okay.
like north. Yeah,
Yeah.
We went and we did a cruise out of Galveston, and we did a cemetery tour when we were there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Texas has
Super
some content.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the largest natural disaster to date that happened in Galveston, a hurricane that killed somewhere between 5,000 to 8,000 people. The cemetery we were in, they figured they had them buried anywhere from 3 to 5 deep.
Wow.
And it was like just a city block. It wasn't real big. And I was amazed, you know, because they found the dead and they sent them out to sea, but then the ocean brought them back in because they didn't take them out far enough, and then they burned what they could, just because there were so many people they couldn't bury them.
Oh, wow.
But they still had them like 3 to 5 deep in this cemetery, and it was a beautiful cemetery, but it was small, and I'm like, that's a lot of people. So
You have a lot of square footage here versus the
Right.
It's a little cramped.
right. Yeah. You were talking about these places you've been. You guys we always talk about it to people out there on the East Coast because stuff is so close together. You get a lot more of those bigger places than we do out here. So I'm always jealous to hear of all those cool places that everyone goes to out there.
Yeah, we do. There's cool, like couple of weeks we're going back to West Virginia for the penitentiary, West Virginia penitentiary. Yeah, West Virginia. It's one of those things like, yeah, you have Sweet Springs, but that one's closed now.
yeah, they closed for investigations.
Yeah, we missed.
Permanently, sadly.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll open back up, but yeah, you have Trans-Allegheny and West Virginia Penitentiary, but it's like they're both in West Virginia, but they're not really close to each other. So
Right.
like, you know, you have to make it a whole weekend out of it. You know, kind of if you want to hit more than one place, and that's kind of like what makes it difficult sometimes, like scheduling, like one place and then the other, and you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, you made it. You, like you say, you take the family, you make it a weekend out of it. It's fine. It's like, what's up there that you guys have? That's
We're in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We're
Okay.
about an hour and a half from Denver, north of Denver.
okay.
Nothing popular. Nothing. We don't have the big buildings like the sanatoriums and the big prisons and stuff like that. So we're really doing local stuff.
Mhm.
We've really become like museum people.
Mhm.
We've learned how to go in, and we all go in with respect, right?
Mhm.
It's a little different when it's a museum piece. Um, like Bob Nelson's museum, he owns all that stuff outright. That is his personal museum. It's not like a foundation or anything like that where they're buying pieces. So it's a little bit different as far as like the respect for the stuff. You don't know if you walk into a prison, you know who you're dealing with, right?
Mhm.
You're dealing with correction officers or prisoners.
Yep.
When we're walking into a museum, we're dealing with like his
Anything.
museum. He has everything from cavalry to modern military,
Oh wow.
um, gangster stuff. So Ma Barker era 1920s gangster, and then you get into the old west stuff where you're dealing with like gunfighters and lawmen, and then all the Native American stuff, which on its own is a whole nother respect factor.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just so I'd rather go into those places where I have a couple of different personalities. But we have really learned how to do these museums, and that's really, I think we have become, um, I'm going to put it out there. I think we are one of the
Experts.
better teams to go into a museum and come out with good findings, and know how to go in and contact with all those different personalities that are there.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good point.
we've had investigations where, through the research we've done beforehand, we've actually been able to correlate the responses we've got back to individual people,
Oh
in some of
wow.
these museums. Yeah, it's insane going in. And we had one where, me and Gina were doing a double Estes, and we said it was like a carousel. It was like one person would step forward to speak, and then five more would, come up and start talking over each other. And, we did that for, I think, 45 minutes, trying to, make sense of all that. So it was, it can get overwhelming too, doing it there when, you have so many different things going on.
And being the person on the asking side is just as much like they're getting bombarded with all these spirits, and you're hearing all these different um, comments coming out of them, or what they're saying they're hearing off the spirit box, and now you have to weed through and try to get those questions to bring out that one person and keep them interested, and not have these other four or five come in.
Yeah.
So even at that, it's we're a much younger area than the East Coast. um, when you look at places like Salem,
Mm-hmm.
1600, 1650, Cheyenne was founded in 1870.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Started moving,
we're
they move west. Yeah.
right. As it comes west, it gets
Yep.
younger. So,
Mhm.
yeah, we don't get the cool big prisons and the asylums and the um, St. Augustine, the lighthouse,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So we're really hitting a lot more of those local, smaller places. We just did probably our biggest, other than the Knights building.
Yep.
Like we probably just did our biggest building down in Denver
Okay.
that we've done as a
Yeah.
team. And it's a cool place. It's I don't want to give too much away because that's next season. But
Yeah.
it's an old jazz
Spoilers.
club.
No spoilers. And you
Yeah.
guys do the Stanley Hotel yet?
No.
Gotta
No,
ask.
the Stanley for a while has tried to get away from the paranormal side.
Kind of hard.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what we're
Just a
saying,
little.
Like,
you're going to get more people if you feed into it. They used to
yeah.
hold a Paracon, and like all the big names would come out, and they do that, and they stop the Paracon. They still do the tours, but they're really trying to push over
It's
the
like,
last few years. But I think they had like Amy Bruni there to do her presentation this last year, so they might be trying to bring it. You never know what they're doing.
you got Stephen King staying there, couldn't sleep, and wrote The Shining. Like,
Yep. And supposedly
Right.
Jim Carrey couldn't stay in that room.
Yeah, it's like,
Um,
come on.
They did get bought out in the last 10 months, I think, by a new investment group. So it's possible that they may go towards that way. And that'd be something we'd be more than happy to go down and check out, if we
Absolutely.
could get in there.
It's like
Yeah, I did a ghost tour there. I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago now, and it was really interesting. Didn't catch anything, but you got the full history in the building. They took you into places that aren't like
Mhm.
publicly accessible, and gave you time to investigate. And it was really cool the way they did it. And I hope they bring that back.
It's like when we went to Kentucky we stayed at the Sealback Hotel, which it's like a super old historic hotel that got bought by Hilton Group, and they still have this guy who's like the resident historian that does like twice day tours, and it's a beautiful hotel. What was it, Al Capone's? Yeah, he used to visit and gamble and play cards in there. They talk about the resident ghost. I don't know about the resident ghost, but the place was definitely haunted. The hotel was definitely haunted. Like, yeah, we had there was like a party going on in the middle of the night when there was absolutely nothing going on, and
Oh,
we had
wow.
a couple of interesting
Wow.
And the other one in San Agustin that we stayed, Casa Monica.
Oh,
that was crazy.
I forgot about that one. and they that's another hotel that they completely have separated. You are not even like the employees are not even allowed to tell you that it is haunted or whatever.
Where was that? What hotel?
It's in San Agustin.
Casa
Monica.
Casa Monica.
Oh, okay.
Monica. I mean, it's a beautiful old colonial type structure, Spanish colonial structure. And like even we did like a mini like ghost walk, and even the people who does the tour, they're not keen on sharing stories from the hotel because the hotel really wants to stay away. But
wow,
we definitely know it was haunted.
Yeah,
wow.
We can hear music at like 2-3 in the morning.
Like
old music.
Yeah,
Wow.
ballroom waltz, type music, stuff in the hallways that's kind of like, kind of remind me when I stayed in a
Gina and I went to.
I stayed in a prison. I stayed in a prison converted hotel.
Oh,
yeah, in Finland. Actually, it was a work travel. And I remember like first night I did ask the receptionist, like, is this hotel haunted? She's like, no, it's not. And they turned the prison, two cells were one hotel room. Yeah, it was for a work trip, and with everybody thought it was gonna be really cool. And then, but I had like a super big room, and then we were talking. It's like, oh yeah, like these rooms are really small. And I'm like, no, mine is big. I have like a bay window and everything. Well, apparently, I had like what it used to be the warden's office. That was my room. Nice. But like the way this jail is constructed, it's like solid concrete. It's not like when you go to like OSR or this type of like jail cells that are all open. And I was there in the middle of the night, and I could hear doors banging, crazy sounds coming from everywhere. And I'm like, this is literally concrete, stainless steel door. Like, it's not like someone is just walking in the hallway and you're going to hear them.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not your, your regular, pop-up hotel that are like built everywhere. This is like concrete rooms, stainless steel door. Like, it's like... And I couldn't sleep. Like I kept hearing stuff all night, every night that I stayed there.
Wow.
I don't mind haunted hotels.
You just go and you never know.
Yep.
I don't mind haunted hotels, but I want a good night's sleep. We went to Bisbee, Arizona, just south of Tombstone, and Gina and I went there, and it was kind of over Halloween, about almost 2 years ago. And we go in, and they have like a little haunted house set up on their main floor, and we're staying at the Copper Queen, which is like the haunted hotel there. And the gal was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're just visiting. Stepson is in Tucson. We always come down here. They have a great olive oil company that we always buy all this olive oil from." And I said, "Man, we'll walk around tonight. We're paranormal investigators." And she was all, "Okay, so tonight, if you guys want to come down and go into the restaurant, I'll leave those doors open so you can get in there and then you can do some stuff." And I was like, "I love this lady already."
Yeah, that'd be a blast.
Yeah, it was great. We didn't get anything, but it was cool that she was all for it. "Yeah, come on down. I'll leave those doors open. You guys can go in. If anyone says anything, just tell them I told you it's fine."
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes
yeah,
it's stuff like that. You're like, you're doing a trip and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do an investigation," and then you get like people telling you, "Oh, you should come here," and then you get that kind of, which is kind of like the fun part. I think we don't do it. If we were all be able to get evidence, we would all be on the Discovery Channel with shows, right? It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
it's not,
right. Yeah,
it's not how it works.
right.
Nope.
You guys build equipment and then use that money so you can travel and do it and have fun.
Yeah.
We, as a team, put on events, local events, for people to come and investigate with us, so we can save money to pay for places to go investigate. We always do one big one a year, and this year, we were able to get the Airbnb and pay for 2 nights at a place, and yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do
Can't beat it.
something to
Yeah.
help support your hobbies, right?
Yeah, it's I think there's two kinds of paranormal investigators are there, right? The ones that are like us that do it for the fun of it, and the ones that are just trying to find the way of like making it big in the getting their own show and getting
Right.
it's like good if you get it, if you are able to make it, good for you, right? But it's there's a lot of people who go into doing investigations thinking they're going to capture the evidence that's going to get them all of the whatever views and the contracts and the money, and that's not really how that's not how it goes. That's why we continue to investigate, right? Because
right. Well, that, and I'm truly interested in are you stuck in this place?
Yeah.
Do you get to move around? Do you get to go other places?
Yeah.
When I die, I don't want to be stuck in Cheyenne. I've been here
No.
my whole life. Like, I want to go to Tombstone, Arizona. I love hanging out there. I want to go to Gettysburg. Like, can I just,
Yep.
think there I am, So that's the question, that I always ask, and I still haven't gotten that answer.
Nope.
So many questions.
So many. So many. Do you guys only sell your equipment on your website, or do you go to Paracons and set up with all the cons that are out that way?
We've been invited a few times, but honestly, I don't have the time to build this equipment as a stock and then take it there. Nah, I don't have
right.
Like we might have maybe 1 or 2 of each in stock, right?
Okay.
And so like when someone puts an order and it's not in stock, like, hey, we will build it. We will build it. It's gonna take, because like this is something he does after work, right? After working 8-10 hours a day, comes in, builds equipment. So we've been invited. It's always like a good, but like it's not like he has. We don't have paranormal Oompa Loompas here like building stuff for us. So yeah.
You haven't been able to harness the spirits yet to do that, huh?
They do help testing the equipment, though.
They do, yes.
They do. They are very helpful. They were very peculiar of the bell when the bell was in development, and it will drive me crazy.
Aaron and the bell.
The bell.
One of our prior members, we love her. She left on great terms. She was good. She bought the dead bell, and it's very hard on the ears when you're listening to audio.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I get home and I'm throwing my stuff on and I'm setting everything up and I put my headphones on and that first ding, just I was done. I'm like, no more bell.
No more bell.
That,
You know,
and then
or
running it in
we were-
in like that small office room.
right, doing live, like burst sessions and listening to them and getting that right there. It's like, no more bell.
Yeah.
See,
Yep, we
the
had to
music
retire the
box
bell.
took me a while to get used to. I
Mm.
absolutely hated the music box. Still is not that creepy sound. I'm like, I don't like it. I just don't like the music box. It's his favorite. I absolutely hate it. I was like,
See,
"Ugh,
I love the music box, and my daughter hates it. Like,
I
I'll
hate
take
it."
my kids on
yeah.
a ghost hunt up at the nights, and my daughter will sit there and just be like, "Please, no music box. Please, no music box." And then, without fail, the music box always goes off, and she's like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, I'm with her. I'm like, I absolutely, and I don't know. I can't tell you what it is about the music box. I just absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
And usually when we do Estes, I'm the one that goes on there. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with any other type of equipment. I'm like, okay, there's something about the music box that just like,
Because it
it's
takes
like
that
nails on
motion.
chalk for me.
It takes that motion. It takes something actually being in front of it, because it's same thing. Like as long as it's not behind me, I'm good.
like,
Yeah.
oh, good. Who's there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like sometimes some days I do work from home, and so I have my office downstairs. And like if he leaves equipment out, I'm like, please don't leave equipment out. Like they just love making noises up here. And I'm like, okay, just stop. I'm trying to work here.
Yep, middle of work, and the music box goes off. You're like, "Come on."
Yeah, it was funny. I was testing one kind of old style music sound, and I find this file that is like a monster, like whoa, and I forget to take it out of the music box when I give it to the owner.
No.
In the middle of investigation,
Oh,
that thing went off with the monster, and they started running.
Oh, that is hilarious.
that is so funny.
Yeah, I couldn't
I
imagine
couldn't
just
even-
turning it on. We're sitting there, in the pitch dark down in
Right.
the clown room or something at the night, and all of a sudden we get a monster roar. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think everyone would be leaving holes in the wall and just taking off.
Oh gosh, that would be so funny. I don't know. We didn't do anything when whatever's down there growled at us. I mean,
Yeah,
that it would probably be louder though coming
Yeah.
through the music box. So, oh my gosh. Brenda over here says that the SB7 is her favorite tool. So the spirit box.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like
It's a
too
classic.
noisy sometimes. That scanning drives you crazy when you're trying to analyze your recording because you hear that oh god, it's just
So if we are just doing a spirit box session, Gina cannot pick anything up. But the second that she goes under Estes, she says it's completely different. The way that it's just in the headphones, and it's just that she's on top of it. She
Yeah.
is like a magnet. And we always do a double Estes, and whoever's under with her, boy, we have conversations between spirits, talking back and forth. In most of the places we've been at, when it's her and someone else, that's what we end up with. It's so cool. And I like the spirit box. Like I'm like, okay, let's turn it on. And I'm like, there it is. This, and it's this, and it's this. And
yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to always be you and
yeah.
me that are picking up on the words. I think
Right.
clearest. Yeah, and mostly me is because I got the headphones on, so I hear it through your lav mic, and through
Right.
the camera, so I hear it like perfect.
Yeah, I agree. Like after if you have the SB7 out there, it gets. But I agree. Once I go under, it's completely different. It's more of a white noise than it is the bothering clickety sound. Yeah.
Yep.
That's my favorite method. Estes.
Yeah.
I love doing the Estes. I did one this past weekend, and then the next day, and this happens to me every now and then, but I will just be so drained the next day after a productive Estes session. It's the strangest thing, but I slept most of the day on Sunday.
Yeah, I call those the paranormal hangovers.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that's God, that's exactly what it feels like too. Is just being hungover and
yeah,
just
you wake
drained,
up and I when I go to places and do go under Estes, or we have a lot of interactions, the next day I have a headache, I am drained, I am groggy, and like I remember first day I told Angel, I'm like, this literally feels like a hangover. So that's what I call it. This is my paranormal hangovers.
Brenda has a good question over here in the chat. Do we somehow pre-prepare for Estes to make it a better session? Most of the time we're doing our investigation, and then we'll do an Estes closer to when we're going to be finished in the night. Mm-hmm. It kind of lets the spirits know what's going on. We've been there. We've been talking to them. A lot of the places that we're going into out here, no one has ever been in. Yep. When you're going into like Trans-Allegheny, Waverly, those places, tons of people have been through there, and the spirits, know what's going on.
Now they could probably operate most of the gear better than we could,
Right.
That's true.
So we wait until we're 4 or 5 hours into a place before we start an Estes, just to let them know. And we've probably already done a spirit box session or two in different rooms to show them the equipment and how to use it, and give them that preparation themselves to do something like that. Because who knows? We don't know the amount of energy it takes for them to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
Brenda
also,
says that makes sense. Yeah. But they may be trying it too early. And Brenda, maybe try, switching it up and seeing, trying it during different times of the investigation.
Yeah. And you bring a good point about, what they know. So that's why I think, you have to you can't rely on one method of gathering evidence, because you don't know what they're used to, right? Like they don't see. That's why you kind of like bring different trigger objects, or kind of like you can't tell them this is a REM pod. They have no idea what a REM pod is.
Right.
It's like,
right.
It's like, hey,
it's something you've never seen before. Use it.
That goes back to like Waverly and Trans-Allegheny. By now they know.
I know they know what a REM pod is.
Yeah. Right. But somewhere that's never had anyone in. Right. Yeah. We explain every time we pull out a piece of equipment, we explain what it is and how to use it and how it's used.
Exactly.
The yes/no prism. Okay, if you go to this side, it's going to turn red, and that's going to mean no. If you go to this side, it's going to turn green. That's going to mean yes, or whatever we want it to mean. Are you a male? If you're a male, turn red. And we're explaining how to use that.
Yeah.
And again, you guys can. I always say this when we have our public investigations, and you guys can attest to this, being equipment makers. No piece of equipment tells you that there's a spirit there, right? It's telling us about environmental changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. So, and then we use that and we start asking questions, and you get out your voice recorder and you get out the other everything as one piece to try to hope you get something, right?
Right. Yeah, it's all theoretical, right? Like, we know there is changes in the environment. We know there's changes in the magnetic fields. We know there's changes in temperature, there's changes in pressure. And that's all that the equipment does for you. The equipment tells you there is a change, whether or not it's a spirit, or whether or not you're able to communicate to whatever is affecting the instrument. That's the investigation part of it. That's the art of it, right? It's like, there is a change, and sometimes they might be there and they just don't want to talk.
Yep.
One of our sponsors is Horn Paranormal Research, and they do XLS, and just came out with a new piece of equipment that's a full spectrum SLS. Yeah, this last Saturday we caught. I can't wait to get it out there. We're going to get it to them first because it is something they just came out with. We have the second one ever built. They have the first one. We have the second one. Great sponsor. Scott and Kimberly are awesome people. Have you looked into building something like an SLS or an XLS?
Yeah, I mean, I got the parts, but I need the time is to put it together.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that one's probably a little more intricate, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a friend that from England that he builds one that he attaches to his cell phone.
Oh,
cool.
So I never seen anything like it. So he's coming to visit us in June because we're planning to do the old hospital in College Hill in West Virginia. So hopefully I will get how to build it.
Without taking it apart. Because
Without taking it apart. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No
Yeah.
demoing this one.
Yeah. Well, guys, it has been great having you on. Oh, I like Brenda's question. She's been having some great questions.
Yeah.
I did build a portal. Yeah, it's more affordable
right
than.
there, and I got a few others somewhere there.
And again, I feel your prices. Looking at your site, I thank you again for being so reasonable on your pricing. I know you can't do stuff for free. You have time into it.
Yep.
You know.
Mhm.
But yeah, check out their portals, Brenda, and see if it's something. Or yeah, I did one. By the time I got the amp I wanted and stuff, it's like it was close to price because I'm like, if it's audio stuff, I'm going for the best.
Right.
It's just what I've always done. And so, yeah, I ended up forking out quite a bit of money. But personally, I'm not big on the portal. I think it cuts out a little too much noise. Gina likes it, but I think it cuts out a little too much. We haven't used it a ton. We'll probably try it again more this year. Just my opinion.
They're good. It all
always
depends
hear
how
things
much of a radio
clearer.
signal can you get.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in the hole in the Ohio State Reformatory. You're not gonna get anything down there. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, with the reverb and the echo, or the reverb and the delay and stuff like that, for me, it's harder to hear. I've got partial hearing loss from shooting too many guns and blowing too much shit up. So, anything where the sound can kind of like mush together is, that does it for me. And I can't, it ends up just, kind of running together. So I've never been able to use the portal because of that.
Yeah. It's something we'll work with a little more. We'll see.
Yeah. I tell you what was fun though is last weekend, just talking about the different types of equipment and how everything gets manipulated differently. Was I will give a little spoiler. During the Estes, Aaron was seeing a lot of shadow figures, kind of around the perimeter of the room, and he told us that when we got out of the Estes session, and I'm like, you know what? If they want to run around on the other side of the room, I was like, let's put up an obstacle course. Let's set up everything we have because this room was massive.
Nice.
And we set up every REM, every cat ball, everything every EMF device we had, we set it up and let it go for like 45 minutes. And that was really cool.
Yeah. It was like a little minefield.
Yep.
They used it. It was so cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so.
Well, guys, thank you very much for coming on tonight. We will post your website again on the Unraveling page, just to let everyone know it's there. And we appreciate you taking your time out of your evening to talk to us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
Yeah, and I will upload more equipment that I'm in the process of finishing. So that will go into the website soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
Okay. Yeah, shoot us a message. Shoot us a message when you get it up there, and we'll put it out on the Unraveling page. Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I say it every week, Jason, but honestly, I think we do get some of the best guests.
We really do. We get some real genuine people that just really seem to love, the field itself and investigation. And, it just reminds me of us so much. It's like we can investigate every weekend, and like Friday, you and me are texting each other, dude, I can't wait for tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like no matter how many you do, it's fun as hell every time.
Yep.
And, it's a true passion. And I love seeing other people that have that too. And it really came through from them.
Yep, for sure. I do want to talk about Horn one more time, just because, they do sponsor us and they're such awesome people. They are out on the road. So if you do order with them, give them a little bit of time. They're doing like a 2-month vacation. But I saw today, Kim received an injury and put in a workers' comp claim with Scott. A wire poked her.
Yep.
And
She got
didn't like
ripped
it.
off on the claim, and it was terrible.
Yeah. He denied it. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
Scott, you really need to come
Better
clean on
working
that claim.
conditions, man. Yeah. that cat you got in charge of the HR department's not cool.
Such good people again. Scott and Kimberly Horn Paranormal. Go check out their stuff. And then that's where we're at. Working on trying to fill some spots in June and July. So if you know other teams or other people, hey, tell them to shoot us a message. We'll get them on. If you want to hear them talk about what they do, we would love to talk to them.
Yep. And tonight, the podcast, when we hit end, is just going to end. Something went wrong with the videos I exported. So we do not have the new export, unfortunately. My bad.
Then real quick, one more. I need to get out there. Twinkle, Twinkle Little Store then. Go see Tim and Patricia. Tell them we sent you, and hopefully they'll sponsor us again when that comes up.
Yep, they had a really cool giveaway, that paranormal giveaway they did that we donated to as well. Yep. So
everyone, thanks for coming in. Thanks for asking your questions, and y'all have a good night.
All right. See y'all next week.